All right, how we doing? Let me get the other things cut on here and cut off and all those good things. We're talking about different streams. David Dean back with you. SFP Sports
That's
Hour.
right.
Sports Hour. Long time no see, Dean. Are you feeling better after
Yes.
your racing pitch? It took a little longer to come on. I wanted to make sure he was okay, you know. Got him some water, put a little cloth on his head, you know.
Oxygen.
A little oxygen, you know, just making sure he was okay. Broski says, let's get it. Well, we're going to, Broski Bear. But give us 1 second because I'm going to dive right into something you're going to like. We're going to talk Braves just for a second, only for one reason. Well, two reasons. One, I want to talk about the game last night, not before. I can't remember if it was, I think it was last night. And then Dean's got some notes about the Braves we want to get to, and then we're going to dive in, Broski Bear. It's good to have you in here. Hey, you know, the Braves have not done well. I said they needed a new bat, a new pitcher. They need another big bat. They tried to skip by on the pitching, and it didn't work. And their bats have been waking up lately, but the pitching's not been there. 2 games in a row. Played the Mets. They went down, like 5-0 in the first game, and then they scored like 5 runs in the game. Then they ended up losing 13-6 or 5 or whatever it was. Horrible. Well, last night they did the same thing. They were getting trounced. Like, it was like, I don't know, 9-0 or some crazy stuff. I come out of the studio, went up, I was watching the game with my wife. They're in the middle of a hit parade. And runners are running around the bases. They jacked a grand slam last night. Michael Harris cranked that baby, hit a grand slam, and they ended up getting ahead of them. 9-6. They were down 6-0. Came back and were winning 9-6 and went on to win that game. So the Braves are getting plenty of production now, but my gosh, that pitching staff is horrible. I mean, the Braves, and this is interesting. I was looking at it. The Braves are like 500 at home.
Good,
which is horrible. You should play better than that at home. 500 at home, but on the road they're even worse. And that's where they can't even play 500 ball because on the road the Braves suck. They're horrible on the road, and they're like 22 and something. I don't know, or 32 and something. It's horrible anyway. But 30-30 at home, if I remember right. That's what it was maybe before that game. but they're playing 500 at home, and so Braves have got to get it done next year. They need to make some moves next year. They've got some great pieces, but it's just not a solid team top to bottom.
No, it ain't.
And they've got to fix that. And I was wondering last night. I mean, Michael Harris has got to be, some of these players signed some really cheaper contracts,
right,
for long term. I suspect there's going to have to be a reconfiguration of a couple of those as we go. Dean Broski wants to know how you're doing today.
I'm doing good.
So the baseball playoffs will be coming. I don't see much change in what's going on. You're going to see your Blue Jays, your Yankees,
right.
Which the Yankees better watch out.
That's right.
Because they're not winning their division, but the Dodgers, Detroit, the Stros, the Phillies, Dodgers, all these teams are locked in and they're not going anywhere. They're doing great. So, but Dean, what you got for the Braves notes? I'm curious, and I appreciate him looking these up. He always brings something
to their table.
We love the Braves, but they're just not going to get the playoffs this year. It's not going to happen.
Okay. I got one thing on the Braves as the notes.
All right.
Atlanta Braves had the first woman umpire last week. Her name was Jean Power.
I absolutely love that you brought that up. You're killing me tonight, man. I'm about to spit the coffee into my mouth because when I man, you're killer. When I saw, you don't even know. When I saw that nothing against the lady, folks. Nothing against them.
I knew you like
that. But when I saw that, I thought of Broski. I thought, yeah, Broski. We got the first female umpire in the game.
I knew you'd love it.
I had no idea you were going to bring that up. That just kills me, man. So not only, Broski, do you not like women's sports, now you got to deal with women umpires in the major leagues. Way to go, Dean. Killer. I knew you wouldn't like it.
I knew you'd like it. I knew you would. That's what I did it for.
And since when do we highlight umpires anyway? All the players can't stand them. They can't stand the umpires, but because she's the first, they're having a press conference. Like, when have they ever had press conferences for umpires?
They don't.
I mean, come on. The best thing you could ever say about umpires, you don't even notice them.
Right.
I mean, honestly, the more you see an umpire, the worse the game is going.
Right.
Throwing flags, throwing people out, whatever.
Right.
I'll put it up there. Sorry, ladies.
Oh, no.
I don't know. Maybe ladies don't like it either. Maybe they like the male umpires. I don't know. But I thought of you, Broski. I absolutely cracked up when I saw that. And I had no idea Dean was going to bring that in the studio tonight. That is absolutely killer. I knew I
would blow you away tonight. I knew I would just blow you away.
You've done that. All right.
I need oxygen. I need oxygen in my head tonight.
I'm telling you, dude. Baseball, smashball. Let's move on. I want to go to Broski, Ohio State. We're going to do a game-by-game prediction, and I agree with some predictions I pulled up here. I didn't realize how cupcake their schedule was. I mean, I don't ever, Broski, want to hear you say anything about an SEC schedule. I sure don't want you to say anything about I sure don't want to hear you say anything about a Georgia schedule. Have you seen the Ohio State schedule? Are you kidding me? There's only 2 good teams on the whole thing. I mean, wow. Now, I'll give them the credit. Those 2 teams, which probably will beat them, are excellent teams. But the other games, are you kidding? Well, you're going to get a win there because they're on the schedule. So Ohio State, national champions, and I hate to say that. I hate that they are. But yeah, just cover that up, Kate. And you'll have to bring something down here. But I absolutely just thought that this schedule was horrible. So Ohio State won their championship, and their first game, though, I give them credit, is Texas. Arch Manning, who they're pumping for they've got the big ranking. Everybody says they're going to win the national championship. Broski, what do you think about Texas as far as winning the whole thing? I think they're counting a little bit too much here. It's a great team, but they gave up a lot too. And I ain't so that Arch Manning's going to lead them to a championship, to be honest. But Ohio State, oh come on, dude! It's horrible. It's horrible. Are you kidding me? Like you're going to defend that? You cannot defend that schedule, man. You can't defend that schedule. All right, they're gonna. This site has predicted Texas to beat, Texas to beat Ohio State. That's going to be a great game. It's they had scheduled that for a noon kickoff, and people complained. They now say time is unknown, so we don't know when it's going to be played. But
it might be midnight.
That game has got to be at night or late afternoon. You can't play that game at noon. Come on. But that's a great matchup. I give them credit. So if Texas wins, Ohio State's 0-1. Well, then they have the powerhouse Grambling State. Broski. Grambling State. Okay, we don't even need to talk about this game. It's 1-1. Ohio State will kill this team. Then they have the mighty Ohio. 2-1, Broski. 2-1. Washington is a little bit better opponent. I'll give them that. But no way does Washington beat this team. But they'll try to build this game up that Washington might upset them. Not going to happen. Ohio State will walk it over Washington, although the score will be, we'll say, a respectable 14 to 17 points. He says Ohio State has a lot of new starters this season, including the quarterback. That's true. That's true, but Washington's not going to beat them. Minnesota, another team that has played up and down. They've been building there, getting a little bit better, but this team is not going to beat Ohio State. It's just not going to happen. Minnesota is not going to win this game. 4-1. Illinois. Come on, Illinois. Not going to beat them, man. Not going to beat them. The Fighting Illini are not going to beat Ohio State. They're calling them a potential dark horse. A potential dark horse, Illinois. Come on. I don't care how good they do. They're not winning this game. Ohio State will beat Illinois. Now, Wisconsin is one of those games that sometimes can be an upset for people. I've seen Wisconsin take down some big teams, but this is not the Wisconsin of old. This is a Wisconsin that's still trying to get back up to the level they played for when they had the big offensive lines, the running game. I still don't see Illinois is playing tougher, but they're not going to be. Yeah, I agree with you, Broski. They're not going to beat Ohio State. Wisconsin's not going to beat Ohio State. So it's another win. This is not a put down these teams. It's just, come on, man. This is not a tough schedule. They can win all these. 6-1. Now, Saturday, November 1st versus Penn State. Let it go, Broski. What you got? All right, they've got a little dot here on this one. James Franklin's one lone win over Ohio State was all the way back in 2016. There's been many heartbreaking close calls for he and Penn State since then. This, however, could finally be the season the Nittany Lions break through. Taking the blueprints from both Michigan and Ohio State's national title win seasons, Penn State has constructed a roster and staff similar for 2025. Though this is at the Horseshoe, this would be a big upset against a rival for the Buckeyes in 2025. They predict Penn State will win this game. Yes, UCLA has that transfer from Tennessee. Nico, that's not going to do any good. I mean, he says, I need to see it to believe Penn State. That being at the Horseshoe, sometimes they over-predict on Penn State. They do. It is loaded, but this is at the Horseshoe, man. I mean, that's kind of a hard pull right there when you think about it. They predict they will lose this game to Penn State. I'm not sure. They may have one loss. They could potentially be undefeated. This Ohio State always plays tough. They're always near the top. They did lose some people, and the change of quarterback could be a key. Maybe that experience level. I think that's probably why they gave them a loss here. But this is 8 games into this season. You'd think the guy would kind of know where he's at. But if we go with that and say it's 6-2, they're cruising the rest of the way. Purdue on November 8th, they're not losing that game, 7-2. Okay, now the UCLA game. November 15th. Do you really think that Nico and UCLA, Broski, is going to beat Ohio State? If they're at home, or Ohio State is at home, they're versus UCLA at home, so it's not on the left coast. It's there. Yeah, Penn State's quarterback from Ohio, Drew LR. But I don't see this happening, dude. I see, just like they predict, 8-2 at this point in the season. Yeah, Ohio State beats UCLA. I agree with you. It's just there's too many. UCLA's not ready for that. November 22nd is versus Rutgers. That's not going to happen either. They will be 9-2. Now, the last game of the season before the Big Ten playoff or the Big Ten title game, is Michigan. That game is at Michigan. Yeah, Michigan could beat them there. I will say that. I don't know that they will. But if you want to go with the idea that, 3 losses is possible, this would be the third loss. I just, the fact that it's at Michigan is the only reason I pause to say that this is a game that they could lose. And after all, they have replaced the quarterback. These other teams, they'll win them just by sheer talent. But if they don't have it together right here, Michigan could definitely beat them in this game. But if they beat them, Penn State definitely beating them if they're having problems. And then you can go all the way back in the schedule and maybe a Washington or somebody or somebody. I don't think that's going to happen. I think I'll give Ohio State the pass on this. I don't like them. But I'm going to say 10-2. They're firmly in the playoffs, and they'll win the Big Ten title game as well. That's what I got, man. But that Broski says Texas, Illinois, Penn State, Michigan are we got. And I agree with you. Illinois is supposed to be better, but that's the only games they really have to worry about. And you just got to feel they can't go undefeated. I just don't see that. Not with another quarterback coming in, replacing maybe some key pieces. They're going to be good. So I think the best they do out of this is 3-1. There is a possibility to go 2-2 on these 4 games right here. I don't think it'll be a sweep. If they don't lose, if they somehow beat Texas, Penn State will get them. If they beat Texas, then maybe they're riding high by then. Maybe Penn State could catch them on a little flat. I don't know. I don't know how you play flat for Penn State, but Michigan beat them last season. Ohio State won national. Well, I get it. Some games are hard to win, but and maybe they'll come in a little fluffy in the head, like, hey, we're the national champions. But, they said that about Georgia, too, and what they do, they went back-to-back. So people said there'll be a letdown. They'll play lazy. No, they didn't. They had a great defense. The offense was very good, and they put it together. And they almost lost that second one because of Ohio State. But they didn't win it.
So they're trying to call the cupcake schedule.
I think it is. I mean, there is 4 games there that are legit pretty good games. I mean, really good games on 2 of them. 3 of them. I'll give you that. 3 of them. I don't even know if I throw Illinois in there. I'll have to see how they play. A lot of talk about them. But really, the rest of that schedule is smoke and mirrors, man. That's just running up score games right there. They're maybe Washington plays them close for a half, or Wisconsin, but seriously, they're loaded, man. They've got so much talent. And I'm sorry, Illinois is loaded versus Ohio State's loaded. Give me Ohio State every day. And I don't even like Ohio State, but I'll say that. So I will. Those are great games to watch. I would definitely want to check out the Texas game, the Penn State game, the Michigan game. And if Illinois can hang close, I would watch it. If not, I would not watch that game. But I just don't think that's going to happen, man. I think you're looking at another really good run for Ohio State, a good run for Penn State. Yes, we've said that. Texas, yes. Georgia, yes. I mean, those are your guys right there. So I think that's the one. Now, let me go through, and we're going to look at real quick. You've probably seen it. Well, you know what? I'd rather play at home. Oh, hey, go, Anthony. We'll go ahead and grab them because I want to go through this preseason. Anthony says there's a double standard media when it comes to Miami and NIL, and they get accused of paying players with win blue blood programs. Well, I think there's a lot of talk about that forever. I think because of the way that collapsed down there for them and all the stuff that happened, it kind of hangs over their head. I think they've got a good program, man. I really do. It's not that they're not who they were all those years ago. I mean, we're talking 30 years ago, man, or more. Yeah, it's a good 30 years when they were that good. They're back to playing respectable. I get it. Yeah, and I get it.
Yeah.
But Ohio State's got more softies than that. And Georgia Tech's that's a rival game, man.
It is.
So you kind of have to throw rival games out a little bit. I mean, and Georgia Tech has played better recently. Why do you think the double standard exists, Dean and Cornbread Man? Well, I think the double standard exists because everybody has this idea that it's South Florida, it's Miami, and there's just a lot of, like it or not, man, that Miami Vice kind of thing. You know, there's a lot of drugs and drug money, and it's dirty pool,
right.
And I just think they get kind of caught up into that. I'm not saying it's fair, man. I really do think they have built up a nice program at Miami. I'll say that. They've got good things going on. We'll see what happens with that, but I think they've got good things going on, and maybe they're on the cusp of really being back to at least to a point where they're competitive and are talked about a whole lot more.
Right.
And honestly, I mean, why shouldn't they be? Florida is loaded with talent.
They are.
It's like Texas, and you could even say Georgia. You don't have to leave the state, and California. You don't have to leave the state for your players.
That's right.
If you want somebody somewhere else, you can go after them. But there's so much talent in those states, you don't have to leave the state.
Nope.
And Texas is loaded out, and you know there's 3 big schools that are grabbing for them. Of course, the outside ones, but he was talking about the double standard for Miami, that people think that all their money is dirty money that's paying players and NIL. It's all, you know, they're kind of grading them on how it was back in the 80s and what was going on there, and it's not fair. I agree with him. It's not fair. So I think the program is a solid, good program, but they've got a ways to go yet. All right, real quick. The preseason top 25. Just real quick, we may make a few comments along the way. 25th, Boise State. They always kind of rock around that area. Boise State does. 24, Texas Tech. They missed 23rd. It's Tennessee. I think that's generous.
Yeah, it is.
I think, and this is not a shot, Vol fans, but you've got a lot to prove.
That's
right. I get it, you're SEC, but you've got a lot to prove in a short time.
That's
with
right.
Nico jumping out. And I know that offense is a little tricky offense and all that, but if you don't run it right, it's ugly. And not at the bottom end of that, it's not. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I could see Tennessee being out of the top.
I do too.
25.
I do too.
Well, Broski, that was back a long time ago. I mean, and I don't know. Are we going to grade those universities by the 80s?
That's right.
I mean, that's the question.
You can't.
I mean, but they're both from the state that they should be just rolling. So that's a strong statement. I get it. There was a lot of things that happened there, but and they're not the only two. But honestly, they brought in some really good coaches. They brought in they put in good systems. They're recruiting better. They're fixing up their university stadiums and everything. I think it's time to maybe turn the tide on that a little bit. I'll agree with Anthony on this. I thought it was a great question. Tennessee 23 or 4, excuse me, or 3. They had it mislabeled here. Iowa State 22nd. They're always around the top 20, 25. Ole Miss 21st, lost their quarterback. You know, he's now in the NFL, and they were ranked 6th last year preseason. And okay, broski, but he's asking, is that fair? I mean, why does that double standard? I think it's because of that.
That's right.
So that's true. So, but that's still a long time ago.
That's right. It is.
So Ole Miss preseason ranked 21st. Indiana mentioned 20th. Texas A&M still not getting any respect. They didn't have a great year last year.
No, they didn't.
19th. Oklahoma 18th. Kansas State 17th. Kansas State's been playing a little bit better.
Right. They have.
I think they're building that program. SMU. Now I remember those great SMU teams from the 70s. You know, unfortunately, you know, their program got killed, and they had to bring it back. It's good to see SMU getting ranked. So they had a good year last year, and SMU 16th, Florida 15th. Florida fans won't like that ranking.
That's right.
Michigan 14th. Michigan fans ain't gonna like that ranking. And South Carolina's ranked ahead of them at 13 preseason.
I know it.
I think South Carolina's got a good team. Now, they do have Illinois at 12. I think that's too high.
It is.
Well, you know, I haven't looked at their schedule. I think that's too high, though. I really do. Come on. Them corn croppers ain't going to win. Come on now. Ain't going to happen.
Nope.
I'll eventually get some Fighting Illini fans come in here and give me a hard time. We'll do it by trash talking them.
Well, you gave me a hard time about to go.
Well, I did. I did. I did. Arizona State 11th. Now the top 10. Where's Miami?
That's right.
Preseason rank number 10. Good job. That's a good way to start getting recognized.
That's right.
I mean, absolutely. LSU 9, Alabama 8, Oregon 7, Notre Dame 6th, Georgia up with a solid 5.
That's right.
Clemson 4, Ohio State 3, Penn State 2, Texas 1. Marker down right now, boys. Georgia's going to finish ahead of Penn State.
Yeah, that's right. They are. Already ahead.
He says the only thing Miami needs to worry about is putting a non-poverty team on the field. I think more money's coming in, man.
I do.
He also says, I can't stand Tennessee. They've gotten so much hype in the past couple of off-season, their poverty as well. I think a lot of Tennessee fans would agree with you that Tennessee has not gave what they should have into this program.
No, they hadn't.
And I realized they wanted to blame everything on Nico, and maybe that's deserved. But were there other things going on there that allowed Nico to become that kind of – I mean, something was going on for a bit.
True.
You let that go on. You absolutely let that go on for sake of winning. You just let him get away with stuff. So I think Tennessee would probably – their fans who are – they don't mind being critical against their team
right.
if they need to be called out. And they've definitely called out the Vols before pretty hard. I just think they're going to have a bad year. I just think this is a year that the rise is going to stop. They're going to flatten out, even fall some. And this coach is kind of going to be on the hot seat a little bit.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, they were ready to build a statue to this guy, but I think that this team is going to struggle this year. I really do.
They will.
And I think it's going to be a hard – I'm not saying the coach will be fired, but I'm saying it's going to be a hot seat, and it's going to heat up. You know, I always say, though, I'm not trying to be mean, I wish the guy would dress up a little more for a game. He's got that stubble. He looks like he's coming off of a 3-day, you know.
Yeah.
And I just don't like the look. It's not professional to me.
Right, it is.
What is up with that? You're paying your head coach to come out there dressed properly. Of course, he's got all that orange on. Oh my gosh! But and he was a great player. He's done a good job, really good job wherever he's been, as coaching and all that. But man, he just doesn't come across good to me. I just don't like. I don't know. I'm not supposed to because I don't like Tennessee, but I'm just saying as a sports fan, he doesn't come across very well. Uh, he says, I say partly because they're struggling for wins. Yes, I agree with that. He kills me. I agree with you. It's sloppy.
It is.
It's not professional. And I'll say this. If you're sloppy and you're winning, nobody cares.
That's right.
If you're sloppy and you're losing, they will jump on you and they will rip you to shreds at Tennessee.
That's right.
And fans, they see it. They just won't say it. As long as you're winning, which is the way with most fans. If they start slipping back, Heupel, it's not going to be pretty for him on that. So right now, Broski, before we move to NFL, who you got for the national champion? Are you willing to put it on the line right now?
I'm going to say Georgia would do it again.
Dean says Georgia. Let's find out if Broski's willing to put it on the line for Penn State right now. He's thinking. He's over the keys. He's thinking, should I or shouldn't I? Should I pick another school? Should I do this? Broski, you're being slow.
Dark horse, national championship, dark horse, Tennessee.
Oh, my gosh, Dean. You need therapy now. You absolutely need therapy, man. What the heck is that?
I said dark horse.
I didn't know dark horses could go that dark. Tennessee? I'm going to tell you what, though. If they were to do that, and and I want to talk about that game, Broski. If somebody laid money on that game, they'd be rich. Not going to happen, Dean. That's more unlikely than your Legato and Stenhouse pick in racing hour. Come on, man. We got to get Dean some help. I'm worried about him. The pressure's gotten to him or something. I'm not real sure what's happened here. I know about that game. I hated that game. Georgia should have won that game. And by the way, you can have your Todd Blackledge. He always slots on Georgia, always. I can't stand having him as an announcer for a Georgia game. He can take his eating spots that he does and take them back to Pennsylvania. I cannot stand having him on a Georgia game. He tries to act like he's being fair. He's not. He hates Georgia. He's always had something smart to say about him. I can't stand it. I'm sorry, just the way I feel. Broski versus Penn State versus Georgia repeat national championship game this season. Penn State wins. Okay, that's what he says.
I disagree.
Here's Mom. Mom says, what? Tennessee? You could have said Kentucky. Would have been as bad. I tell you, Mom, he's sick. There's something wrong with him. I'm really concerned about it. We're going to have to get him some poor Ken. I don't know. Maybe he made Ken sick. I don't know. It's just not setting in on Dean. I'm not sure what's going on here. Rusty Bear, big third. No, it's not going to happen. No. It's coming back to the SEC, my man. It's coming back.
That's right.
Shout out Todd Blackledge. No. Hey, did a great job. Won the game. I can say it. But, Broski says, shout out to Kay. She knows her stuff. Miss Kay, a.k.a. Dean's mom.
Hey.
You're going to have to test Dean when he gets home for fevers or chills, the shake, something. He's got a virus or something. Right? Something's going on, man. Not sure. All right. Here, one more question here. Is Arch Manning that good?
No.
Dean says no. I think they've hopped a lot of stuff on this kid who hasn't shown it yet. I know what he did at the lower levels. I'm not down him because he's a Manning. I think it's a little too soon to anoint this guy as the dude and then winning the championship. Not this year. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I don't think Arch Manning and Texas is going to win that. I really don't. I'm going to tell you, I would of this group, Georgia's just as good as any of them.
That's right.
And it's a pretty deep field, all the way down, really, through 9. I'm sorry, Anthony, I'm not going to throw Miami into that mix just yet. But Notre Dame's played very well. I would say don't forget about Clemson.
No,
they've loaded up pretty well. I don't think they'll win it. Ohio State will be a threat again. Penn State is definitely a threat. Texas is a threat. All these teams are a threat. And honestly, Alabama and LSU as well. Honestly, I don't think there's a big divide between all these teams. It's not that big. And the playoffs will be the tell. All these teams are going to do well. All these teams are going to make it unless some traumatic injuries happen and take out their stars. These teams will make it into the champion the playoffs.
Right, they will.
And we'll see what happens from there. But I don't think there's any way these teams don't make it. I really don't. I think they're that good. The records will be good. Even an early loss or two is not going to stop Ohio State. It goes deeper this year, and it's going to be fun to watch. But all these teams that we mentioned have a shot. But I will say this: when you get outside the top 10, maybe I see there's also a big tier level. It's not. There is a drop off. I think there is a drop off, and there'll be a team or two that'll surprise. There's also going to be a team or two that'll fall. But out of those top 5, I don't see any of those falling. It'd be interesting to see how Notre Dame plays again this year. Alabama, if they get back. But this is going to be a fun season. I'm looking forward to it. So I like your pick, Dean. Georgia. I like it. Not Tennessee. Georgia. Forget the dark horse, folks. Stay with the dogs.
Well, I did say dark horse. That's a slim chance.
Yeah, but Dean, there's dark horse and there's dark horse. I mean, you just made some Tennessee fan out there just bow up. Yeah. I mean, they're gonna say Dean on the SFP Sports show said that Tennessee has a chance to win it all.
Dark horse. I'm not gonna trade my Georgia card.
I say this with all due respect. When y'all go to church Sunday, Miss K, you might want to mention a prayer request for Dean, just making sure he's okay. You know, solid request. Pray for Dean. I'm just wondering what there's something going on here. If you've got that, pull it up real quick. And I need to transition to NFL, but I definitely would be willing to scroll through that pretty quick. And yeah, I'm not I'd root for Tennessee over Notre Dame. I can't stand Notre Dame. Sorry, Notre Dame fans. Join a conference, but throw up the cupcakes, or I don't know. Just put it in the chat if you feel like. If not, we'll look at it next week. Miss K says, "Pray, pray, thumbs up, solid request." All right, let's transition. A little bit of NFL news. Stock up, stock down from the preseason so far. I've really enjoyed watching some of the games. By the way, the Falcons and Titans had a little skirmish. And we'll look at who's playing this week. This is week number 2 of the preseason games in the NFL. They only play 3 weeks now. So this is the week that you would expect to see some moves by some teams to play their starters a little bit and then rest them on week 3 and just play those that are fighting for position or who's going to stay on the team or not. But Shadur Sanders had a great game, and a lot of people in Cleveland are saying, why is this guy 4th on the depth chart? A lot of pressure on the coach to move him up. But he is listed as a stock up this week. And he had a great game. He threw for 2 touchdowns, 14 out of 23 for 138 yards. And I don't really understand the hatred that comes out about this guy. I mean, any of those guys off that Colorado team. But I guess it's carrying that Sanders name. I think he's a good guy, a good player, and a good athlete, and I'm impressed. And I don't think Cleveland should be putting down, let's elevate those guys that deserve it. I mean, if anything we can say, Cleveland needs to finally get a quarterback because they just never seem to be able all their quarterbacks go. When a quarterback goes to Cleveland, they go there to their career to be over.
Right.
I mean, they brought in a guy for $250-something million or whatever it was, some crazy number, Deshaun Watson, and he's done nothing but stink up the field ever since. And from Clemson, he's a great player, but he's had all kind of scandal and controversy and court cases. He's just lost the mojo. He's not got it. Shadur Sanders is playing good, but he is number 4 right now on the depth chart entering game 2. I think that's going to change. And I ain't gonna lie. I think this guy could take the job. If he keeps playing like that, he's taking the job. Travion Henderson, running back New England. A lot of people have been talking about this guy. He's a good player. He didn't carry a whole lot. He gained 18 yards, but he did carry a kickoff back for a touchdown. He's just one of those players that's got that it factor. He had 3 catches for 12. So he did a little bit of running, did a little bit of receiving, and he played on special teams, and he's making his mark. I did hear that, Broski, a little bit about it. Well, maybe I haven't heard. I'm trying to think. There was a comment that came out.
I heard that on TV, but I didn't.
I really don't. I can't remember right now what it was. So I heard something about it, but and Travis Hunter's taking. He didn't play well. And they're really getting on him about that right now, Dean.
I heard that.
So this guy's looking at as maybe a potential dark horse on this team, better than the dark horse of Tennessee, man. Veteran running back Ramondre Stevenson played well in the preseason opener as well. So he's not going to lose his job, looks like. But this guy could be in the mix he's a rookie, and he's a guy that could be in the mix for helping him out in a lot of different ways. So Travion Henderson, good job. Torrey Horton, wide receiver, Seattle. He was a 5th-round rookie. He had a strong preseason debut, 3 for 31 and a touchdown. He's led the team in every significant receiving category, catching 3 of his 7 targets for 31 yards and a TD. No one else saw more than 3 targets, so he is definitely becoming important to them in that passing game. Broski says she has already filed for divorce and she's in a mental hospital. Now, I didn't hear that.
Huh.
Wow. Oh, I didn't hear that.
I didn't either.
I'll definitely look into it. I heard a little chatter, but I just didn't catch it.
I didn't either. I heard something about it, but I just didn't catch on to the whole story.
I didn't either. So Horton looks like he's going to make the roster, and he's a guy to watch out for, be another good contributor on a team. That Seattle is always good for passing and like that. Now, falling players, and I agree with this, on Anthony Richardson from the University of Florida, playing quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. He's got all the talent in the world, but he can't stay healthy, and he just can't seem to get back on track. So he's on a hot seat. And with these, he gets hit a lot. He gets hit a lot, and he's not the best at realizing where the pressure is coming from. He's really raw. He's got a. I just don't know that. I don't know if that experiment's going to work. And they paid a lot of money to put him in that seat. Broski says, free advice, never marry a woman who has a $ tattooed on her ring finger. Just saying. That's pretty good advice, bro. I'll give you that one. Ashton Genty, running back Raiders. He was a 6th overall pick, entered the preseason with a lot of hype, but his debut was a dud. 3 carries, minus 1 yard. Didn't have a target in the passing game. But right now, he could still develop. He's a rookie, but right now, not a good start for him. And the legend, the speedster, who got smoked. Did you see this, Broski? Tyreek Hill, who got smoked by the kid in that little flag game they were playing or whatever. Did you see the moves that kid put on Tyreek Hill? Oh, my gosh. He was embarrassed. That kid was fast. I don't know if you saw that, Dean. Tyreek was trying to stay with him, guard him and all that. and the kid smoked him, put a move on him, scored a touchdown on him. I thought that was killer. Okay, I figured, yeah, Travis Hunter's wife had one. That's why I said that, or has that. I get you, man. I figured that's what that was. But anyway, he's just not been the same guy for a year or so. And, of course, the other problem, Miami should be better than this. I don't know if Anthony's still there hanging around. They should be better. He's our Miami fan. They should be better. This is a year that's they've got to put up. Yeah, look that up, dude. It was like some kind of I don't know if it was a camp or a clinic or they were raising money for something. It looked like some sort of a kids camp. This kid smoked him, man. Go check that out. He's a future player, man. That dude's got some moves. I mean, he burned him. It wasn't even close. Was not even close, man. And Tyreek's trying. You can tell he's trying. It's not that he's just letting the kid win. He tried to stay with it. He couldn't do it. And after he slipped. The kid smoked him on a move. He slipped and scored the touchdown. And he's holding the arm up going in. Tyreek's not even he's way back. No way he can stop him. I knew you'd like that, broski. I knew you'd like that. Yeah, man. He got him. He got him, man. All the kids hollering. And the camera guy runs up to Tyreek, puts that camera right there. He wanted to ask him something, but you notice he didn't say nothing. So a couple of stock up, stock downs. It's always fun to do. And, not that these players are going to be superstars, but it's always nice to look at players that have been drafted and kind of where they're at. Let's look at the NFC East and do predictions for the NFC East as far as our next move in the NFL. I don't know where Cowboy Cook's at tonight, but he's the big Cowboy fan around here. I will say this. Jerry Jones, who is Mr. Cheap, he don't ever want to play the players what they're worth, He puts on a nice show, I'll say that, but he's not there's a lot of people frustrated with him, have been for a long time. But he said this, which I thought was interesting. They have Milton, the former quarterback at Tennessee, who moved because of other players that were there. Had moved there and got hurt. Different reasons, got hurt. He has a cannon for an arm. Mm-hmm. He's got moves, and he's playing well. And Jerry Jones come out and said, we are so fortunate to have Milton on our team. That is definitely directed at the current quarterback who had injuries, has not carried the team to the Super Bowl. I don't think starting the season you're going to have any kind of controversy because the guys, they're paying him a lot of money to play. But I would not be surprised to see them have some packages for Milton to come in. This kid is very talented. And I said that was a good pick by Dallas. I don't always say that, but Dallas did a good job when they got this kid. He's got one of the strongest arms I've ever seen. You can pull up the video on this guy and watch him throw flat-footed 70-yard passes through the goalpost. This guy, he flicks his arm and the ball just zings out of it. He's got a future if he can rein in the interceptions. He's got some stuff to learn, but they could save themselves a lot of money, and make a move there. And I'll guarantee you, Jerry is thinking about it. Not this season, but I'm telling you, they may be a future change in their future. But let's look at last season's standings. Of course, two teams was really the only ones that did it.
Right.
The Philadelphia Eagles, with a lot of Georgia players on that team, they were 14-3. They're going to be very strong again. The Commanders, I do too. It's the Redskins. Yes. They were 12-5, and they were right in the mix of it. The Cowboys were a pitiful 7-10.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants were a pitiful 3-14. But I want to come back to the Giants. I like some things they're doing. And I like some things the Cowboys are doing. So I think this division will tighten up a bit, but I'm not picking against the Eagles to win that division. I think that I would say that. Let's look at the Eagles here. A couple of notes about them. What do you say? It was a great year. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley. That tandem was incredibly hard to beat. Even games where Hurts was a little bit off, Barkley just exploded.
Yeah, he did.
And he's got a lot left in the tank. There's no slowing down here. They have a really good defense. That offense is clicking. I mean, you've got to say they've got to be a high pick to win it again. They're going to win this division. I believe that. So sorry to the rest of you. Yes, I would agree with you there as well. He's one of the best players on that team, and they do need to keep him. And thank you for saying Redskins.
Yeah,
we're going to boycott this Commander's name. I'm sorry. We don't play that game on here.
No,
and it's not the Cleveland. What are they called? The Cleveland Indians is what they should be called.
Yeah,
they call it. What are they called? I hate the name so much.
I do too.
I don't even remember it. Somebody will put it in there. The Commanders, which we're calling Redskins forever.
But yeah.
I just throw that out there to throw you off a little bit, Dean.
Yeah.
They have made the addition of Deebo Samuel. That's a big pickup. You're right, Dean McLaren. Their defense is what they got. They didn't really spend any assets there. So the defense they have is the defense they get. But that offense is good. And if they can hold on defense, they'll be right back in the mix. So the Redskins should do very well this year. Now the Cowboys. Now, again, going back to what I was saying in the beginning, they've got two big questions going on. One is, are they going to be able to keep Micah Parsons in the fold? He says he wants out. He is a generational top player. He can play linebacker, down line. He's a great rusher. He stops a lot of players behind the line. He can go out in pass coverage. He's got a big wingspan. This guy, he's a podcaster too. He has a very successful podcast. I'd like to have 1% of his watchers. I'm telling you, he's a very good guy. I like him. But he's upset with the team, and he wants out. So they've got to fix that. And is Prescott's healthy again, but can he have the year that he needs to have to lead Dallas to a better record? He's an awesome player. I like the guy, but he gets in the playoffs. When he did get in the playoffs, he melted down. Now he's had some injuries, and they score a lot of points, but they can't put it all together, and it's a lot of pressure on him. And he has had to seek some sort of counseling before for mental health. He struggles sometimes, and this pressure is going to be really big. And it doesn't help that they're in the division with the Eagles and the Redskins.
That's right.
Which they've always been. But I don't see the Cowboys. I see them winning maybe 2 more games. I could see them going 9. I don't know if I put them at 10. I think they could go 9. But that's hard in that division because you got to think Philly's going to wax them twice.
You're right.
And the Redskins will beat them at least once, if not twice. That's a lot of losses right there. They're not going to beat the Eagles. I just don't see it.
Or the Redskins.
Or the Redskins. And the Redskins playing really big. Boy, I like that quarterback. So I just see this really being basically the status quo. Philly's gonna win it. The Redskins are going to be close behind.
Right.
It's going to be a drop-off to Dallas, although I think they can win a couple more games because your quarterback's healthy. You're going to play better. They've made some nice additions. I think they can win a couple more games, but I don't see them going anywhere this year. And then you have the Giants. Now, I am intrigued by the Giants for this fact. I do like the fact that they drafted Jackson Dart. I like that young man. Out of the SEC, broski. I think he's got an opportunity here to do something with the Giants. They've just not been satisfied with the play of the quarterback for some time. There's been a lot of players roll through there. They just cannot seem to get back to it. Maybe Jackson can be that guy with the fast wheels he has and a really good arm. Maybe he can be that guy. But their schedule to start the season is pretty bad. They start with Washington and Buffalo, and then the Chiefs and the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you don't see them winning any of those games.
Nope.
So that's 4 losses right there. Now, they may surprise me, but those are 4 powerhouses, and I just don't see them winning that. They're rebuilding to a point, and I do like that they drafted Abdul Carter on defense. This guy is the it factor too. This is a great player, Abdul Carter. He's going to be one you want to watch. And remember back to the glory days of Lawrence Taylor, number 56.
God.
Could Abdul Carter be that kind of guy that just wreaks havoc on opposing offenses? I will watch this guy. He was a beast in college. He's going to be a beast moving forward. I think the Giants are moving in the right direction. They're not going to challenge for anything yet, but I would say to watch those 2 players and see how they do. I know, Broski. I'm not putting down, never putting down Penn State. I think they produce a lot of good talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They always have. They just, what was your safety that came out a few years ago? It didn't quite live up to the NFL hype, but in college he was lights out. What was that great safety they had? I can't think of his name right now. I thought he would do better. He's played okay, not bad, but I thought he would be more of a star. It didn't really happen. But this guy, Penn State is a new tight end. You're going to have to share that with Georgia because Georgia's put a lot of tight ends as well. Jaquan Brisker's on the Bears. But what do you think about Abdul Carter with the Giants? He's had concussion issues, but do you think that he's worthy of that hype as a rookie on the Giants team? And they're going to be on the field a lot. This guy's going to have a chance to shine. This is your team. You root for him. What do you think about that pick? I know it's not the best team, but that's how you get better. You get that guy. So, what's your favorite attribute about Abdul Carter? He's a multi-talented player. But what is his best skill? I'll ask you. I'll cede to you, man, because you're a Penn State fan and you watched him more than I did. He was all over the highlight reels. This guy's pretty amazing. But that's your NFC East. It's not going to change. The Cowboys are not going to finish below the Giants. I don't think they can catch the Redskins, and Eagles are going to walk the dog on the division.
Yeah.
So that's not changing this year. That's absolutely easy. One of the easiest divisions to pick. It's not even close. Let's see. Abdul Carter has a sick bend, really tough to block one-on-one. So he gets low. He gets really low and then gets off the block and then chases down the player. And that's important to have because in the NFL, which you've got all these great players, sometimes college teams, they like that guy to really stick you. You're going to be targeted and sometimes double teamed. But if you're trying to stop a running back, you've got wide receivers are expected to block on the edges, but you're going to have that fullback or you're going to have that offensive lineman or somebody that's going to come across and they're going to try to knock you on your end to clear the way for that guy. So, you got to shed that block really quick because it's just speed and holes. And if you get through that first line, then you can get big gains,
Right.
But, hey, I'll track this year. I love to track the rookies and see how they do. We'll try to do that with Dean as we go forward in the season.
Let's do it.
So, do you like any of these teams?
The Giants, I don't care. I don't care for the Giants.
I grew up a Giants fan. I was Falcons fan, but I grew up a Giants fan because I liked Phil Simms. I liked Mark Bavaro, and I really loved Lawrence Taylor. Man, what a player. We'll try to get some highlights next week. Taylor, those are great to watch. Carson, another great player on that team. Later on, Tiki Barber. I've always liked the Giants a little bit, but I will say they've just been flat for a few years now. The drafting has not been great. Players have not turned out. This is one of the oldest franchises in the league. Not the oldest. And also, it is still owned by the family. It's a family team, like Chicago. And NFL needs the Giants to be good,
Right.
because it harkens, and Chicago, because it harkens back to the beginning of the league.
Right.
So there's that. Now, let's look at a little bit about the schedule this weekend for the preseason games. The Titans and the Falcons, they don't like each other. I saw them once in Chattanooga in a scrimmage. And guess who I got to see on that scrimmage was the late great Steve McNair. I got to see him up close at the old Chamberlain Field, I think it was.
Oh, God.
Oh, my, I couldn't believe we got to see those teams scrimmage there. They did it for a fundraiser and a scrimmage, but that was a fun scrimmage to watch. They play tomorrow at 7. Titans and the Falcons, the Chiefs and the Seahawks also tomorrow at 10. Then on Saturday, you've got the Browns, Eagles. That would be a good, at 1 o'clock, a good game to watch, even a preseason. Patriots, Vikings, 1. Dolphins, Lions, 1 o'clock. By the way, the player that got hurt is doing well. He's got all the feeling back. I don't know if he's going to play again this year or not. I don't know that. But that player, he got hurt in that game. That could have been bad. Packers and the Colts. Panthers and the Texans. 49ers and the Raiders. The Ravens and the Cowboys. That would be also a really good game to watch. And the Buccaneers and the Steelers. The Jets and the Giants, the Chargers and the Rams, the Cardinals and the Broncos, all on Saturday. Lots of games on Saturday. Sunday, you've got the Jaguars and the Saints at 1, the Bills and the Bears, 8 o'clock. I wonder if that game's going to be on television. Broski, do you know if the Bears-Bills preseason game is going to be on? We got the race on at 7:30.
That's right.
Be nice on commercials to flip over and see how that's going. And then Monday, there's a Monday game at 8 p.m. Bengals, Commanders.
I was going to say, tomorrow night, that's a race night. That's a truck race. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean on Saturday night.
Yeah, okay, Saturday night's Richmond.
Yeah, I know. I said on commercials. On commercials you can flip over, and not keep up with your dark horse, Joey Logano and Stenhouse. Come on, man. and then there's only one more week, and we'll go right into that first game, which is that Thursday night game. They keep putting that up there. I hate that. Redskins Packers. What a great game to kick off with. 8:15. It's always a big party, and looking forward to the start of the season. And for your Atlanta Falcons, game 1, you got the Vikings on Sunday Night Football, 8:20. That's cool. There's a double on Monday for that week. And for who's the Bears kicking off with? I gotta miss them. I missed them somewhere. They probably took them off the schedule because they're so bad. I'm just kidding. It's the Bears and the Lions. Oh my! I get it, broski. I don't watch all of them, but I think that that's you can pick up on some of these players that are maybe make the team or a chance to win a position. That's what I like. I don't care about the score. I like to see some of that. I like to see how some players are coming back from injury. Second-year players, third-year players, you get better. Right. It's kind of like those young race car drivers. I mean, who is the guy in the racing that is in there right now that we've not really talked about this year that over the next year or two you think can make a move and be talked about a lot more in racing?
Corey Day.
Okay. So there's your name. And, I'd like to see I like to do that. I like to see, how these young ones do.
Right.
Some of them will never make it. They'll just fade away.
No, right.
They'll go down to other racing or whatever, or they get out of it. That happens too. And so it's a brutal sport, football, and a lot of players make it.
It is,
but a lot more they don't make it.
Right.
And let's not forget, Friday Night Football is kicking off soon. I don't know if there's any this week or not. I meant to look. And me and Dean have decided, along with Ken's backing,
Right.
we haven't talked about this, but in our local area, we're going to give out the SFP Sports trophy to the player that we vote on for the year. And we're going to try to work on getting some interviews throughout the season with some of the local talent or from anywhere. And we're going to try to make some connections and get some interviews with some of these young players and give them a spotlight. They deserve it. They deserve it.
Yes.
And I think that would be fun. So we'll be looking at that. We'll look at the games.
Who knows? These players is playing, in high school, they'll be playing the pros one day.
One day. And this area has a pretty good about putting some players in. I wouldn't say it's a hotbed, but there are players that come out of here. Lou Carter and the guys over at Ridgeland and different ones that have went. Dalton always puts a lot of offensive linemen out there. So anyway, and if you go a little further south of us, there's some real powerhouses.
Dyersville.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Calhoun, Dyersville, Cartersville, you name it. Those are great teams down that way, and they put a lot of talent in college.
Oh yes,
some of that talent makes it on to the pros. But hey, I want to say this real quick before we get off the air. I was at I may have mentioned it before, but I was at a Georgia spring game years ago when Donnan was still there. This is right before he left. And I walked up, I was getting autographs, wasn't supposed to do it. It wasn't very well attended. There wasn't that many fans there. So I walked over to the other side. I mean, there was a lot of open seats. I went over to the other side. People hollered down and said, "Hey, you ain't supposed to be doing that." I said, "Yeah, all right. We got seat cushions autographed, and we bought an NFL football, and we got all these players signed off on it." I don't want to ever happen to the football because a friend of mine who had it was holding it for us. He passed away. So I don't know what happened to that football. But the memories are great. I got to meet the great Hines Ward, who played with the Pittsburgh Steelers, great player, and a lot of NFL players. But one of them was Marcus Stroud, who went on to have a great career. I think that was with New England. That's right, who played for New England, right? And anyway, now this blew my mind. So you think about these young high school players, and today they're paying attention to them more, even in middle school.
Right.
But I don't think that Marcus Stroud had ever signed an autograph before in his life.
God.
And there were three huge Georgia players, all of them really talented defensive linemen, standing together. And I asked for an autograph, and I pointed at him, and he said, "Me? You want my autograph?" Yeah, I said, "I want all of them, but I want your autograph. And if you'll do it." And he goes, a big old smile broke across his face. He said, "I'd be glad to." This guy's an NFL Hall of Famer. And I don't think he had ever signed an autograph. He was so shocked.
Oh, I bet.
And that's cool. And so I want to bring that this season. I want to help some of these players get a little more recognition.
Right, yes.
They get a little bit out there.
Right.
But there's time constraints. We don't have that. We can do it whenever we need to. And so with the sports show, we're gonna highlight some of those players.
That's good.
And see if we can't do it. And we're gonna set that award out there. And we'll get something together. And we've got to get our criteria together and get that going out. But that's your sports show for tonight. Dean, it's great as always. I look
soccer.
And so, yeah. And Broski, it's fun talking to you. I appreciate you very much. Anthony, I guess he had to get off here. He gets busy. He has to work. Miss Kay, others that came in.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you, folks.
Yeah, check Dean out when he gets home. There's granddaughter across this. She didn't know we were live.
My mom got a bunny.
Okay, she got a bunny. Mom got a bunny, so she wants to tell me. But we'll play some music on the way out. Fist bump, salute. We appreciate you very much. And got to find my song here. And there it is. We'll see you next time. Go team. That means the Georgia Bull Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.